Yo, what's cracking, peeps? Happy Sunday. T-Money here with you. Chilling. Kind of a rainy, shitty day here today, so I got the itch to carry on with my collection overview series. I just got back from Goodwill, and I found a couple movies pretty cheap, like $3 each. I got Foreign Correspondent, which is either directed or produced by Alfred Hitchcock. Possessed with, or I think it's Possessed with Joan Crawford. I just got the DVD editions, and then I got one other one, I forget what it's called, something Line, I don't know, but anyway, seemed okay. So anyway, today I'm going to be going over it'll be a shorter video too, just going over oh, and by the way, if the picture quality on my iPad sucks, it's because this fucker fell off my deck over 6 feet, probably like 10 feet off my deck, and because it's got like this big bulky kind of case that it's in, I think it kind of like a parachute like helped it a little bit when it went down. But yeah, if you guys notice a difference in the picture quality, let me know please, because I'm so surprised that this thing didn't break. It almost looks a little bit like the movies back there look a little blurrier, and more blurry rather, in the background. So I don't know, as far as this goes though, if I look different or if the picture looks shitty, just let me know, give me a heads up, because I'll have to take it in or invest in something new. But anyway, so yeah, today we're going to go over I am going to go over my Twilight Time and Raro video titles. The reason why I combine them is because I keep them together in this here rack. So it's easiest for me just to do them together. I mean, it's only like, what, 42 titles held in this rack total, so I don't have a lot of either one of these. I have more Twilight Times for sure than I do Raro Video, but I enjoy both companies, and obviously I agree Twilight Time is overpriced, especially for what you're actually getting, but what are you gonna do? They don't come out with too many releases I like anyway, so it works out for me. Alright, so we'll start, I guess, in the order that they are. I have them racked in, so we'll start with Twilight Time, and let's get right to it. Alright, so first up I have Bambola di Santana. Cool little, I think it's a Spanish, clearly. Satan's Doll, 1969, directed by Ferruccio Casapinta, is a classic giallo tale putting pretty young women in jeopardy in a Gothic-style castle. Throw in a handful of nutty relatives, a black-gloved murderer, a ghost, and a bit of dungeon torture. That's entertainment, so cool. I'm pretty sure it's Spanish, judging by the La Bambola di Santana. I know Italian and Spanish languages have similarities, but I'm pretty sure that's Spanish. So, next up we have The Stone Killer, which was also recently put out by, was it Eureka or was it Powerhouse? I can't remember. One of those two companies. I think it was Indicator, so anyway. Stone Killer? Or, fuck. Indicator or Eureka, I'm sure. Next up, we have a cool film. Really, really good film, actually. 10 Rollington Place. And this is the second run, and all Twilight Time's releases, as all of you know, I'm sure, are limited to either 3,000 or 5,000 pieces, I believe. Those are the two numbers I'm aware of. Most of them 3,000. I know if a title's a little bit more popular, they'll do 5, but this was actually the Rollerball sold out of the first round, so this was the, I forget what they call it, like a resurrected edition, where they'll make a few more prints. There's a name they call it, but yeah, so anyway, from 1975, this is cool movie. Next up we have Scream and Scream Again, directed by Gordon Hessler. I'm sorry, Gordon Hessler. So, I think like a hospital horror type film maybe, espionage film. Kind of a horror movie, kind of an espionage film, and in some sense a piece of science fiction. Scream and Scream Again from 1970 features turns by three icons of horror genre: Vincent Price, Christopher Lee, and Peter Cushing. So I haven't checked this one out yet. I should though. It's a killer cast. I love when the three of them are together. and it's not that often. Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee more so than Price, but here's another one starring Vincent Price, Theater of Blood. And I'll tell you guys when like these titles have other editions, because they're generally going to be cheaper. So Theater of Blood, I think, was released by Arrow as well, so you can get that. Stone Killer, I think, is either Eureka or Powerhouse Indicator Films. 10 Rollington Place has a UK release. Rollerball, most of these films do. So Scream and Scream Again, I think, does. The only one so far, I believe, is Bambola di Santana does not have another Blu-ray release, and I could be wrong on that. So next up we have Edge of Sanity, and a lot of these films I wait till they're on sale. The unfortunate thing with Twilight Time is they're all limited to either 3,000 or 5,000 films. So when they do go on sale, a lot of times the more popular ones are already sold out anyway. So there are certain films you generally know though when a film they're releasing is going to be high in demand and sell out fast. So then you can't really wait for a sale. But a lot of these I had the luxury of waiting for on sale to get them cheaper, because they retail on Screen Archives, I think $29.95 a piece, sometimes $24.95, something like that. But the majority is this. You're almost paying like $35 for one title shipped. So it really, really does pay to wait until they're on sale. There's different price brackets, and a lot of these I got for either $9.99 or $14.95 or something like that. So this is a newer one though, Edge of Eternity. Someone recently said too that Twilight Time's going to stop doing horror. And I don't really know if that's true. I haven't heard anything else about that, but probably is. I don't know. So that sucks, but a lot of these are more thriller noir than they are actual horror anyway, but still. There are a couple horror films in the mix. So that was Edge of Eternity. Next up we have an older one from '47, Kiss of Death. So this is a big one. Classic film. I'm trying to see who it stars. Victor Mature, Victor Mature, or Mature, I don't know who that is. Debut performance by the one and only Richard Widmark. Score by David Batoff, so it's cool. Kiss of Death. Twilight Time they do release some pretty cool, classy, it's a classy releasing company, I think. Overpriced for sure, but they released some good films at least. So The Mad Magician from 1954. Most of these titles are black and white too, so far. But they do a mix. Starring Vincent Price, awesome. John Emery. So yeah, really cool. And I think, I'm not sure, it is in 3D though, so. Next up we have Moby Dick. I actually have never seen this film, so I wanted to give it a shot, being it is a classic. From what year? This is in color. 56. Wow. 116 minutes, limited to 3,000 copies. And I love Twilight Time what I love about Twilight Time, I should say, is that most of their titles do come with English subtitles, so appreciate that for sure. Let's see. Next up we have a good one, Mysterious Island. Cool film. Who's in this? The guy that I love, right? Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Michael Craig. No. I was thinking of the guy from... what's his name? From Dead of Winter and Fright Night. I love him. I forget his name. Next up, cool release. This is all sold out, I think. Charles Bronson, 10 to Midnight. Cool release for sure. I like that artwork too. Next up we have the classic. So this is an example of a film, a Twilight Time release that I got for $9.99 on sale, and it's now out of print, so that was awesome. 1984 film adaptation from Orwell's classic. Next up we have a crazy film, Romeo is Bleeding. And I got this one from Diabolic. It was weird. Diabolic randomly gets Twilight Times in very, very rarely, but I think they had some Mad Magician 3Ds. They had this action film from the 80s, I believe. 85. So yeah, 3,000 units, Remo Williams. I don't know what kind of deal they have worked out, but it seems like it's pretty rare that Diabolic gets any Twilight Time titles. So I grabbed this. I think this was released recently too. But anyway, Burt Lancaster in the Train. Pretty cool film. Black and white from '64. This one I'll read you guys. It's John Frankenheimer's cracking adventure thriller, The Train, from '64. Stars the one and only Burt Lancaster as a workaday World War II era French trainman charged with ensuring that a cargo of irreplaceable French art, the pride and heritage of his nation, is not allowed to leave France. Despite the machinations, I think, of a Nazi officer, played by the superb Paul Scofield, determined to steal these great works for Germany. Also starring Jean Moreau, Michael Simon, and featuring compelling black and white cinematography by Jean Tournier and Walter Wotitz, and a thrilling score by Maurice Jarre. The Train is one of the icons of '60s cinema, so very cool. Next up, we have another awesome film, Strange Invaders. Excuse me, did I already show this? I feel like I did. Maybe not. Mysterious Island, not Strange Invaders. So this is a cool film, and this may be what I was mixing up with. No, I'm wrong. I'll shut up. Alright, next up we have Count Yorga Vampire, also released the sequel as well from Arrow Video, so grab that grab that edition, not this, but it's a good film all the same, so because you get two for essentially the same price. That might even be unavailable, I don't know, but here's another cool one, color one, Runaway Train. I actually might throw this in tonight. Kind of in the mood to watch this again. Director Andrei Konchalovsky. Whoa, can't pronounce that at all. It's from '85, based on a story by the legendary Akira Kurosawa. It's a terrifying thrill ride about a pair of convicts who, after a brutal prison break, make their escape on a titular train. Then the engineer has a heart attack and the brakes go out. All bets are off. Both Voight and Roberts were nominated for Academy Awards for their superlative. I hate that word. Two words that piss me off are in this fucking paragraph. Superlative performances. That's it. Superlative. Gotta break that one down. Alright, next up we have John Carpenter's Vampires. I just lost my cigarette. Classic. I was really excited when they released that. Also now released by Indicator. Boston Strangler. Very cool film as well. This one's from '68. Right around it's the same kind of film as like the 10 Rollington Place. Basically, day in the life of a serial killer, essentially. '71. Alright, so Boston Strangler came out first. I didn't know that. But they're both based on real life serial killers, I believe. Cool film. This also has another release. I forget by who, but Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. And we have the remake of The Vanishing. I want to grab the Criterion. I think Criterion released the original film, The Vanishing, but it's not sale season right now. Just past sale season for Twilight time, so gonna have to wait on that. But this was okay. I watched this recently. It stars, let's see, who are the two guys? Jeff Bridges and Kiefer Sutherland. So it was pretty good. Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, classic, kind of like a film noir thriller from a long time ago, the 60s, '64. So really, really cool. Starring, of course, Bette Davis. So, cool. Classic. And next up we have probably my all-time favorite remake, Night of the Living Dead. I love this film, directed by Tom Savini. This cut is not good. I have to say I would definitely go with the release from Umbrella. Well, it's not that the cut's not good, it's just the coloring in this is all fucked up. It really does have like a blue tint. So you're way better off going with the Umbrella Entertainment release, which I believe is all region. I don't really have time to dig through that. It's back there somewhere, but check on that. And if it is all region, I would way go go with that version, that release over this. Although I love this film, so I had to have it. And of course, I was like, nah, definitely not. Fucked up. People are just stupid. There's no blue tint. Yeah, there's definitely a blue tint. Was I ever wrong on that? Next up, we have one starring Frank Sinatra, the detective. Really, really cool. And this is from '68 in color. And I actually hosted a giveaway on whatchamacallit, 22 Shots Moods and Horror, where I gave away a copy of The Detective and one other one. This film right here, Black Widow. Pretty cool film noir thriller. Again, oh, why not? It says, with Black Widow, 1987, Maverick director Bob Rafelson gives us the alluring tale of a seductress who marries and murders a series of wealthy men, getting away with their crimes until an equally clever female adversary, a Justice Department drone, as bewitched as she is repelled by her quarry, picks up the Black Widow scent. Also starring Dennis Hopper, Sammy Frey, and Nicole Williamson. So, entertaining trio of poor saps, shot by the incomparable Conrad Hall, featuring again with that word, superlative. They're trying to fuck me up today. Score from Michael Small, available Twilight Time release. Isolated track, of course. And you always get the isolated music tracks with every Twilight Time release, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Next up, we have an awesome film starring Charles Bronson. Love this film. Chateau's Land. I actually sold my DVD recently, because I upgraded, and yeah, I got that for $9.99. They had Chateau's Land on the price bracket sale for $9.99, and I almost bit the bullet. Pulled the trigger, or no, what's it called? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, pulled the trigger. I hate saying that, but I almost bought that release right when it came out for $30, so I'm glad I waited, because it's a perfect example of how you can score the exact same titles for way less if you're patient. And that's something that I need to practice, because I am not a patient person when it comes to movie buying. So yeah, I feel like the screen is very blurry here, guys. I'm sorry. I fucked my iPad up. That means I need to get a replacement or something, because the screen is definitely grainier. More grainy than it usually is, right? Yeah. I think so. But anyway, so next up we have another one I scored recently off the $14.99 price bracket, U-Turn, starring what's-his-face, the guy with the weird name, Powers Booth, Claire Danes, and Joaquin Phoenix, Billy Bob Thornton, all-star cast, John Voight, wow. All good, this is definitely an all-star cast, so I haven't seen this film. And last up for the clear cases, then we go into some of the blue. So, Twilight Time's been doing, obviously, clear cases for quite a while now. But when they first started, a lot of their earlier releases just have standard blue cases. Not that it matters. I just have mine organized from, just for color code continuity. I have them clear, and then I have blue. So, yeah, Jackie Chan double feature. I just showed this in an update, I think, a couple days ago. So, maybe even yesterday. Fuck, I don't know. But, yeah. Okay, so a couple of the blue releases now, or blue cases. We have Audrey Rose. The Believers, awesome film. It always reminds me of Texas Chainsaw for some reason. I guess if you look at the image closely it doesn't, but definitely it's got that look. And color, actually. What do you call it? Color scheme is similar to Texas Chainsaw. The Blob, I kept it sealed because it's expensive, and I do have the umbrella, and not a print, and I have the umbrella edition, so why not? I got this one for dirt cheap. Well, dirt cheap in terms of the Twilight Time pricing, but yeah, $9.99 for Mind Warp. It's kind of a release that they've been pumping in all their sales for a while now, I feel like. I don't know if they printed more, or if it just didn't sell well, because it's a pretty decent film, so I'm happy that I scored it for $9.99, that's for sure. Effects by K&B Effects Group from '92. Really, really cool. Angus Scrimm, Bruce Campbell. Cool cast. Alright. Getting down to the second to last Twilight Time edition. The Other. Notice I do have, well, I've got a mix of horror and noir and thriller and classy black and white sci-fi, all kinds of stuff. Moby Dick. I do like Twilight Time for their kind of array of different films or what have you. But yeah, St. Valentine's Day Massacre, I never watched this. Check that one out. Alright guys, so that's it for Twilight Time. You know what? This video is 20 minutes. I'm going to wrap that up. And I'll go with, I'll discuss my Raro videos in another collection overview. Because I have a few other companies that I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 titles from Raro. So I'll save those for like, maybe like when I do my Redemption films or my Mondo Macabro collection, because I have not very many of those titles. So yeah, I've already shown like the Scream Factory, the Arrow Video, Vinegar Syndrome. Those were all like the companies that I have the most of in terms of collecting their lines. So everything going forward is going to be generally speaking shorter because I have a lot less titles from these companies. So yeah, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your Labor Day weekend, and I will catch you very soon. Peace.